Hey there, YouTube. It is Askew 2000, and I'm losing my mind. I think I'm on day 9, maybe 10 of quarantine because of the stupid virus. But I decided, because it's a nice day out, that I wanted to get out and shoot some slingshots and kind of do an update and to my previous video where I compared, the 3 slingshots that got me into slingshots. But now I kind of want to do a shooting video. So we're going to be looking at the GZK Zhulong. Still one of my top slingshots. I'm starting to get a lot more now. Looking at the Scout LT. And then the new kid on the block, for me at least, is the Wasp, if I can get my fingers out, Wasp Uniphoxx. So all 3 of these are awesome slingshots. I just wanted to go out and take some shots at my target. So I don't know if you guys can see, I don't know if the lighting's very good or not, but I have a steel plate target out there. It's probably about 10 meters or so away. And I'm not going to shoot at my catch box. The reason I like the steel plate is because you actually hear the plink when I actually hit it, so you know that I made contact or not. So the first slingshot, the GZK Zhulong, still one of my favorites. Things I love about it is it's just really, really dense. The hardwood and the stainless steel head. I really do like the target reticles. So I had a kind of a fit with them for a while because I just couldn't get them to be spot on. I spent a considerable amount of time just sighting those little fiber optics in, and it's actually become quite a deadly accurate slingshot. And I like the fiber optics because you can get on target relatively quickly. So, if you're potentially hunting or something like that, you don't want to be spending too much time trying to get on target. And it's just really comfortable. I really like the pinch grip that they have on it. And missed 2 of them. But normally, again, if I weren't talking into a camera or anything like that, this is a super, super accurate slingshot. And well worth the money, considering that it is probably the most expensive of the 3 that I have. I think I picked this thing up for about $45, maybe $50. And another thing that might be contributing, and this is the only downside I can find with this slingshot, because there's a lot of sharp edges, and there's the target reticles and everything. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the bands are really starting to get pretty worn. In fact, I probably shouldn't be shooting this slingshot because it's not really safe. But you can imagine that once you shoot too many times, you're going over the top, and then the bands are just rubbing right up against that sharp edge. So they do tend to wear out a little bit faster with this one. And then the only other thing that I have a gripe with this about is that it's only over the top, and I tend to prefer shooting through the fork because you don't get the hand slap with through the fork shooting. This one, again, the hand slap isn't obnoxious, but it does start to hurt maybe after like the 50th or 60th shot. You get slapped in the finger, and especially shooting light ammo like these little 3/8 clay balls, you will start to kind of notice it over time. But again, regardless, everything else I love about it is really quick, easy to attach new band sets and so on and so forth. So, my current favorite, it was my favorite in my desktop video, and it's my favorite today, is the Scout LT. Everything about this slingshot I think they just nailed, right? It's lightweight, though you can add, and I have on this one, added that handle weight, so it actually makes it a little bit more dense. So that helps out with the balance a little bit. The flip clips are awesome, so it's just amazing to be able to swap out band sets and choose between over the top or through the fork. Again, I prefer through the fork. There's a lot of different options you can do in terms of scales. So if you want to put different color scales on, you can do that. You can leave them off. Again, I just think in general, this is the most well-rounded and best thought-out slingshot out there. I have put some sight right cards on there. I think I might have had that in the previous video. That kind of adds some aiming references for people. So again, it really helps with that x-axis, and again, getting on target relatively quickly. I think I'm gonna miss this one. Yep. I could tell because I could feel that the ball wasn't necessarily in the pouch the way that it should have been. But either way, fantastic slingshot. Now the only downside I've noticed with this slingshot, and it's pretty minor, I don't know if you can hear it, but the handle weight that's in there, you can kind of hear it rattle around. And I've tried everything I can, like tightening down the screw here a little bit more. It just seems that that's one of the things that happens with this slingshot. I have another version of the Scout LT, the limited edition version. I mean, it does the same thing. So it's something that seems kind of unavoidable, but still, I could shoot this thing all day. It's awesome. So I wanted to kind of do more of a direct comparison between the Scout LT and the Wasp Uniphoxx. The Uniphoxx is amazing. You know, it has easy band attachment systems as well, though you need an Allen key rather than a screwdriver, so that makes it a little bit more complicated. You gotta remember that Allen key. Super lightweight and super thin, right? You can see even compared to the Scout, you know, even with the Scout without its scales on, it's still going to be thicker than this thing. So I really like that it's lightweight. Yeah, it's fun. Like, you know, these can even be like kind of collector's items. I know they have limited edition versions, different colors of them. Really cool stuff. The only thing that I don't like about it is that there are no flares, so I can't really do a very good pinch grip with this. I mean, I could probably try. It would just feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I'm pretty much limited to doing that frame brace grip. So where you hold it with your thumb on the frame. You can have your pinky through the pinky hole. That kind of helps out a little bit. But the downside is because most of my slingshots are that pinch grip, I have to kind of switch between different grip styles, right? So, you know, I'm fairly accurate with this, but it gets awkward for me when holding that frame brace grip for a long period of time. And in fact, it actually starts to hurt a little bit, namely in my index finger. So I know a lot of people when they're shooting this, they'll just actually point with their index finger to kind of relieve the strain on it. But because I have really long gangly fingers, if I were to shoot this thing all day and I'll kind of exaggerate here for you, you can kind of see how my index finger is just really tweaked in order to hold that slingshot in the correct method. So for that, just because for me specifically, the ergonomics are not where I want them to be, I think I would probably recommend the Scout LT over the Uniphoxx. So, but still a great slingshot, and it's relatively cheap. Now the only downside, and this is the other aspect of it, I said that the GZK was the most expensive of the three. That was somewhat of a falsehood, because this one actually ended up costing me more because there's no US distributors for Wasp or the Wasp Uniphoxx. So I had to order from their website in England. So if they were here in the US, this would probably only cost maybe 20-25 bucks for the whole system. But because I had to have it shipped from England, that added an extra, I think $12 to maybe $20 of shipping. So it turned into a $50 slingshot, essentially overnight, which is kind of a bummer. So that's the only thing that I kind of dislike about having to purchase from a foreign country. Not that I have any problem with the company whatsoever, but just because there's added shipping costs that come with it. So again, those are kind of the three that I like. If I had to recommend a slingshot, I don't know if I'm in any place to actually recommend a slingshot to anybody, but I would say definitely the Scout LT. I think it hits almost all of the aspects of a slingshot that an average day user would want. And again, with enough practice, you can start to become quite accurate with it as well. So anyway, I thought I'd just relieve a little bit of stress, kind of get out and get some sunshine, and I hope everybody is doing well and staying healthy, and take care.